Welcome to another edition of Smalltalk for you. This morning I wanted to go through a little bit more on the process model in Pharo. I've gone through the process model in VA Smalltalk, and it's largely similar in Pharo, although Pharo you have more control over things than you do in VA. Some of the VA implementation hides things down in VM that are a little more open in Pharo, and kind of the same in VisualWorks for that matter. So you're going to see a lot of things here that if you know VisualWorks are kind of familiar. What you do is you set up a process here and by setting up a block, and then you fork it off at one of these priorities. Now the interesting thing about Pharo compared to VA is VA has the old 1 through 8 priorities. In Pharo, if I take a look at system background priority, let's just inspect that. You go ahead and take a look at this. This guy is 20, so you can tell, and if you looked at the rest of these, you'd find out the priorities in Pharo range from 0 to 100 instead of 1 to 8. So you have a little bit wider range. You can do interesting things like decide I want to run at system background priority +1, and you can get something that's a little higher level than system background priority, but not exactly the same as everything else in there. So you can go within that range. You have more variation. Beyond that, wanted to go through something about the tooling in Pharo. So let's go ahead and set up this process by creating a block, and all I'm doing is delaying for 2 seconds and writing to the transcript, and I've got the transcript window open up here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to fork this off at user background priority, and then I'll show you a couple things about that. Let's go ahead and do that, and you'll start seeing things written to the transcript here in a moment. There it is. So it's not doing anything exciting. It's delaying for 2 seconds and then writing. A couple interesting things you can do though. If you come in here and I go to Tools, actually let me do that somewhere where you can see, because that's probably off your screen. Let's go up here. Go to Tools, and I go to Process Browser. In here, you can see all of the processes that are currently running. Now, the interesting thing is it might be a little hard to figure out which one of these is yours because they just have these interesting little IDs on them. One of the things you can do to separate that out is you can send the name : message to a process to give it a name. So notice it's to the process, not to the block. And if I come up here and tell this to auto update, there it is. Now I can tell, well, this thing's a system process. I don't want to screw with that one. But this one's my process. I can go ahead and mess with that one. And I got some transcript dumps when I did that, but I'm still doing my code too. What I can do with this, though, is I can do interesting things. I can pop up the right menu on this. I can inspect it. I can explore it. I can suspend it. And more importantly, I can terminate it. Now, why is that useful? Well, here, I could have terminated best by doing this. I have a hold on the process, so I could have done something, I could have done something like this. Proc terminate and done that. But let's say I didn't have a hold on it. Some process that's sitting embedded in some larger application of mine. I didn't think to go ahead and hold on to it, or maybe I don't have easy access to it. I can always pop this tool up, and then I can grab my process, assuming again that I can identify it, which is why this name : business is a useful thing. If you have processes of your own running, it might be useful to give them names so that you can spot them in the process browser and then figure out that that's the one you want to terminate or suspend or debug, as opposed to one of these system ones that you probably want to leave alone. So it's better for today. Until next time, have fun with whatever Smalltalk you're using.